Greetings, people. Remember, like I always say, updates don't cast. Updates stay hidden, but not here at Mindshift. It's me, Ogechi Emmanuel Udu, your wonderful host for the Mindshift podcast. And I have with me here in the studio someone very, very well-to-do, well-exposed, with a lot of experience in his arsenal. But I can't even tell you how much or how well he is in the society. So, sir, please just introduce yourself to us, please.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, my chief. My name is Engineer Eyagbono Saga Pascal, and I'm also a comrade.
Salutations, sir.
Yes, thank you so much.
A comrade in the building.
Yes, nice to be here.
Nice to have you, sir.
Yeah.
Like I always say, now the update now with the carry given. And what update do we have today? We are bringing you all updates from the educational sector. For those who have been listening to the things that have been happening online, but in society at large, the online world has been pushing it so massively this period because it's very important. The Jamb Saga. Like, I believe at one point in time, someone somewhere you know, or you personally might have written Jamb, but that Jamb don't jam you, or you don't jam, or person where you know, Jamb don't touch Jamb, or you go soon write Jamb. Whichever one, it is something we have to look at because over time we've been having so many controversies, and if they remain unchecked, we will also have much controversies to talk about. But this and more is what we're going to discuss about. It's education. We want to really know, is education really the key to success, or they don't change the padlock? Make we know how it be. So, sir, first of all, let me ask you, how do you see the educational sector in the country currently?
Well, when you talk about education in Nigeria, it's really, will I say the education system in Nigeria is in shambles.
Yeah, shambles.
Is in serious predicament and calamity. I have my personal experience, and by the grace of God, I have other experiences I saw from other persons. And Nigeria is actually a country that is supposed to be having our education system in high esteem. But you see, a great man once said something. He said, leadership, everything rise and fall on leadership.
Okay.
When leadership is compromised, when leadership is confused, when leadership is disorganized, every other thing tends to disorganize. Every other thing tends to scatter. You strike the shepherd and the sheep are scattered. So, in some way, Nigeria educational system is in coma.
Wow.
Is in serious coma, and it takes God to revive it.
So if I'm to rephrase you, what you've said in summary is this, that the Nigerian educational system has failed.
It's failing.
Okay, it is still.
It's still failing, but it has not completely failed because there is still a remedy. But
okay.
It's failing.
Before we dive in deeply into the heart of today's discussion, do you think these problems are caused by the current government, or is something that the problem has been coming before now and it has not been treated and it continues piling up?
No. You see, Nigeria problem has never been a one-man's problem. The problem has been piling up from day one since 1960. So you are not, it's an accumulated issue. In fact, when I wrote Jamb actually, it was an issue. In fact, I know a lot of persons that because of Jamb they didn't go to school again. In fact, even me that is talking to you now, I did not go to school through Jamb. Wow. Because when I wrote some few Jambs, I just quickly understood that if I continue this way, you see the education that I am looking for, I will not get it. So I just quickly diverted my attention to something else that I knew that I can use to enter into the university. So that's what I did. So one of the problem Nigeria has is that when a new leader comes on board, instead of him to improve on the errors he has seen from the previous administration, check the errors, correct them, and put things in order for him to get a better administration, then you see them continuing in that same error They now even do more error, lay errors on errors. So that is the problem in Nigeria, and that's why some of us, we think and we still believe that it's going to be taking a lot of energy and spiritual warfare. It's going to be a fight for Nigeria to be great again.
Okay.
Although we believe that Nigeria can be great again.
Certainly we do. I am hopeful. Right. At least I am hopeful, even if it's not really seeming like it, but I'm still hopeful.
Yeah.
Picking a particular highlight from what you just said earlier, talked about you having numerous Jamb experience. I think let me start from there, using that to dive into our topic of today. Do you really feel the UTME is important?
You mean Jamb?
Yes. Do you really feel it's important?
Jamb is important, but it is not necessary.
Oh, please. I want you to buttress more on that.
It is important in the sense that you need it in a way to get into the tertiary institution. Okay. Right? But there are other ways that you can actually use to, like me, when I wrote Jamb for some times and I saw that Jamb is not the way forward. What did I do? I quickly picked a diploma from University of Benin, and I wrote, and I didn't need to write any entrance exam. I just entered there, did 2 years course there. I studied maritime stroke ICT. That means maritime stroke information communication technology. So after that, I wrote direct entry into petroleum engineering. I'm a graduate today by the grace of God. I've graduated for some time now. So it is important, but it is not just the only way. So why would you want to kill yourself because Jamb is jamming you?
Because it's seeming like it is the major way. Because if you check over time, by virtue of my progress, I finished school like about 3 years ago, and even up until this last Jamb, this last concluded Jamb, I was opportune to be in one of the Jamb offices in the country, where I saw like the massive influx of students, Jambites, as we call them. They were all bent on the exam.
You see. I need to go straight to the point. I think where you are going to now is where I really want to correct. And if there are parents that are listening to us right now, they need to understand. Yes, they need to listen very well. Or parents and guardians or sponsors, they need to listen to this. Listen. There is, in this dispensation now, there are several ways to make it in life. Several legit ways to make it in life. You see this attitude of wanting to force people into doing what they don't want to do. Because what you are saying now, that crowd, you see, you see some of them that will even lose their life. I heard of a girl that committed suicide because she saw her Jamb result. Yeah. She committed suicide. She's dead. Yeah. She's dead. And that is when the minister, the registrar started coming and start crying and saying that he will write again, that it takes full responsibility. That is the problem. I want to advise all parents. You must calm down and listen to your children. You must understand that education is a way, but not the way. Education is a way, but it is not the way to success. I know of a lot of persons that didn't go to school and they are very successful. I am not of the opinion that you should not go to school. School has its own role to play. Like for me personally, I think that going to school is not for the result. I feel like going to school has its own role to play in your life. It's not the first class you get or the second class upper you get or the 2-2 or the third class you get that makes you. It is your experience in the four walls of that environment that makes you or man you. There are a lot of things to learn there. When I was in school, I entered into politics. I did a lot of things. I entered into politics. I played the game. I did my education. I played the game very well. If I tell you something, what I am using today to feed my family, what I am using today to strive, what I'm using today to at least take care of myself and do the needful, it is not because I read petroleum engineering.
Amazing.
It was because I went to school and I was able to harness the opportunities and the lessons and experience that the university will give to you. It is not really reading and read and pass.
Paramount, yes.
That is you as a man, you shouldn't say you want to fail.
Certainly.
Right? But you should not term it as the only thing you need to do in university. If you do it, you are doomed. I know of a lot of persons that focus only on education, because we are dealing with Nigerians here. We are talking about Nigerians here. We are talking about Nigerians. We are not talking about other country. We are talking about Nigeria. If you focus only on education in Nigeria, you are 80% disadvantaged. You are 80% I know what I'm talking about. I know people that came out first class today. They are photographers.
So you are saying basically, not just going to the school, but the school should go through you.
Yes. There are a lot of things the community, the education community offers. There are a lot of experiences it offers. There are a lot of things it offers.
Okay.
So you need to look at them and focus on them, not only your GST.
Okay, now let's come back. Let's shift a little bit.
Yeah.
For those who don't really know how it works personally, you have to go through the UTME stage.
Yeah.
Then you go through the post-UTME stage before you get in the admission. That's before they now get to this stage where you are today. So the first angle, which is the WAEC angle or NECO angle, it's past. The Jamb angle is the major focus of today. Let's try to talk about the current saga in our educational sector. That's the Jamb saga, like I said earlier.
Yeah.
Just concluded Jamb experience, we had a major glitch problem in the Jamb, system. What's your take on that matter?
When I begin to hear glitch, it just reminds me of 2023 election, where we were promised what do you call this, beavers?
Yeah, that's beavers
machine, stuff like that. And at the end of the day, the most used word was glitch. I think Nigeria is peculiar with the word glitch, and it only shows one thing, that we are not ready to advance as a nation. If a lot of children's destiny, that's why I tell you, you don't put your destiny just lay your destiny on the hands of the Nigerian leaders. You will cripple your life.
But if you choose not to, I won't say succumb, but to adhere to the to the directives of these same leaders, the weight of the country weighs you down, due to policies that are put in place, due to modalities that are put in place that is used to run the affairs of the economy, of the society. Now, we're talking about the glitch issue, and it's more like it's an excuse, a very feasible excuse that can be used when they've erred.
In fact, let me tell you something. When a man does not know what he's doing, in Warri then we used to say something. He say, man will not plan a life where he go sit and wish the warrior.
Not be like.
So when these people are failed, they come up with an English language, a vocabulary to try to explain their failure.
So the next best thing is the glitch.
Is the glitch. So glitch is already the most used word in Nigeria. So when you hear those things, you laugh. Is it not in this same country they told you that snakes swallowed money? So when people are ready they are ready to do funny things, they now start telling you that glitch happened. It is purely incompetence on serious people that just want to take people's destiny for granted.
But there's one thing. Okay, Nigeria itself, we will call Nigeria a developing, a developing economy, a developing system, a developing country. One of the factors or features of a developing country or a developing society is to move with the trend.
Okay.
Yes, to keep up with the trend, to move with the trend. And technological advancement is a very big trend.
Yes.
Like we live in the computer era, like in the IT era, technology era. So I remember vividly before now, Jamb used to be paper pencil test, that's the PPT test.
Yes.
And by virtue of being a developing country, they had to adopt the current trend.
Yes, which is not bad.
Which is the computer-based test, and
Yes.
that's the CBT test.
Yes.
And they've gone as far as doing something called the mock test
Yes.
before
the
main exam. So with all these modalities being put in place, trying to adopt a new system, trying to even create a situation where basically the students can familiarize themselves with the system before the main exam. Are you now saying that with all these modalities put in place, they still have, or they are still bent on making intentional mistakes and banking it on the glitch syndrome?
Well, see, this is a Nigeria thing. You need to understand Nigeria. When a Nigerian leader comes to tell you that he's ready to do something. In fact, when we were preparing for 2023 election, right? When they told us that the Beavers is ready, that they've tested everything, they told us that they've tested everything.
Yes.
And they still came back to tell us glitch. Before this jam started, the registrar and all the minister of education, they told us that they were ready for this thing.
But these things are man-made created. Yes, we know that technology has it's an advanced tool for the society.
Yeah.
But there's no certainty in life. There's no giving.
Do you know why these things are happening? When a system is not well organized, everybody, you don't give reports. You are not answerable to anybody. You know, the leader does what he likes, then everybody does what they like. If they are not accountable, if for instance the registrar that came to crying is, we have seen a lot of persons, even the MD of NNPC that collapsed when they were asking him questions. Yeah. It's normal. The tears does not really change. Why do you come here and cry? Why are you crying? Are we doing Hollywood? So when they know that if you make a mistake, there are consequences. It's not cry. I used to tell people, apology is different from repentance. You apologizing to us does not take away the consequences
of the actions
that you've taken. Yeah. It is only the repentance that does not come with consequences, because repentance means you are not doing the error again. It will not have to repeat itself. You don't need to make that mistake, but you are apologizing and people are dying. A young girl just committed suicide. You are apologizing. See, is a decade. The system is rotting.
Okay, now
it's a very, very, very
looking at it this way
system.
Now, like you said, you didn't go through your schooling experience with the use of the UTMEs, forum. So I believe many persons out there, they don't really know alternatives to the Jamb system with regards to getting admission. So the fact that the government or the system is not being held accountable, or there's no check and balance to call them to order, don't you think it's high time that we have sensitizations or orientation programs that will, make it known to the society that outside the UTME or outside the Jamb, there are other ways you can use to get admission. There are other forums with which there are other things you can use to assess the higher.
There are a lot of ways.
Because I, for one, I think, like you went to Uniben, I went to Uniben. During my time in Uniben, we had the direct entry thing, like you said.
Yeah.
Then we had the JUPEP.
JUPEP is there.
The JUPEP program.
SPAT is there.
We have IJMB.
Yes.
Now, just recently, or like due to this current administration, the subsidy for education was removed.
Yes. So
individually, they are trying I want to believe that every sector in the country is trying to fund, or are trying to generate revenue for themselves. Now, in a situation like this year, basically, it is still the government trying to generate revenue for itself, to run itself at the expense of the citizens. Will the modalities being put in place to sensitize the society about other alternatives to Jamb, will it not be crumbled?
See, I will tell people, these people will not be able to really give you those sensitization programs that you actually require, that you need. Let me tell you this. When me personally wanted to do that, I now started making inquiries on other ways I can use to get into this university, because I wanted to go into it. But when I was going into university, I knew that I already got experiences. I knew that I'm not going to use this school to do anything in life. I'm not going to. I just made it 50-50. So all my minds were not there. I was not putting all my eggs in one basket. I went out and I made the research on my own. I heard about the direct entry, Investor of Benin.
Okay.
And I said, why am I wasting my time here? Let me get the form, go there, do 2 years of this course. When I finish the 2 years, get out my results, use the results, write direct entry, get into my EC. Now as I'm here now, even because of that, I have 2 certificates. I have maritime and ICT, and I have petroleum engineering. So what I want to advise is this.
Okay.
First of all, the parents, they need to find out other alternatives. You should not be stereotyped. You should not be just
because that's a problem.
rigid.
It's a problem because many of them
It is not
they just
Jamb.
stick with what they know because for a period of time it has been the norm.
And it's not working. See, you are destroying people's life. There are children that are supposed to be doing a lot of things now, but because of this Jamb syndrome, you will just be stuck somewhere. At the end of the day, they are using them to wash plate in the house. They are using them to wash plate in the house. They are using them to sweep the house, send them message up, like
What about
making
children?
them look like as if they don't have
But
this.
what about the children who even know about these alternatives, but they still choose to want to go with the Jamb thing? Because so I believe sometimes some parents might not really be that exposed. But their kids can.
Let me tell you something. In that angle, the parents has the final say. Let me tell you something. My dad told us when we were growing. He said he doesn't have a child. This is his own rule. He doesn't have a child that will go and study fishery. I'm not saying these courses are. He's saying that he doesn't have a child that will go and study adult education, study fishery. If it's not medicine, if it's not engineering,
Professional courses.
if it's not a professional course, it's not part of it.
That's what he used to say then.
That's what he used to say then. So all my brothers, one medical side, the second one mechanical engineering, me petroleum engineering, and so on. So we understood that part. So coming to your question, that the children does not want to follow that line.
Okay, because some parents are ready to change. Yes.
The parents is to tell the person now, if you don't want to follow, you're on your own. See, there are places where parents should stand their ground and tell their kids that this is the way. A child that is telling you that it's only Jamb that he wants to use to enter university is not even serious for life. That one is just take him to one place and maybe put him in one mechanic shop and use him to do 1 or 2 things. How will you be saying that this is only Jamb that you want to use to enter university? No, that's a wrong step. So that is not only that's a very wrong step that you take.
Okay, now
as a child.
Okay, let's try to upscale a little bit. Some of all these other alternatives to the Jamb exam also most likely run on computer-based tests and exams. You get, so in summary, the technology aspect has come to stay in educational system. Now, either by hook or by crook, this same glitch thing will always be there.
Of course.
Some of them actually exist.
Of course.
And they happen legitimately or legitimately.
Yes.
And some of all these might be due to negligence or some other thing. So what kind of reforms or what kind of modalities would you suggest to be put in place to correct some of all these problems?
You mean for the Jamb exam?
Let's just put it as a foundational factor for all exams that will lead to you entering into the university. Jamb major, because that's where like more than half of the country moves towards.
Now see, one wise man once said something. He said, "It is only a fool that keeps doing something, same thing all the time,
Expecting
and expect
a different result.
A different result. You can't keep doing something and you are not getting results from it, and you keep just doing it. That is a foolish move. See, first, the Minister for Education, the President needs to call the Minister for Education, the registrar for Jamb, and their boards or their leadership structure and stuff like that, and call them and tell them, see, can this thing work? Right? Can this thing work? If you say yes, give me why you feel it will work. Then you state it. This is what I feel. This is what I feel. Then there should be a committee that will go through these steps, go through this structure, and be able to pick points, just get some of the errors, correct them, then you give them a strict warning that if this thing fails, you will fail. Because see, if nobody takes responsibility for these things, it will keep happening. Somebody needs to understand that my life is at stake. Somebody needs to understand that my job is at stake.
Okay.
Somebody needs to understand that something serious will happen to me if there is any English called glitch again that happens.
So first of all, you are saying that ultimately technology has a role to play in the educational sector.
You cannot take away if you are taking away technology, you are going backward. Technology has come to stay, and it's something we must do, and it will work. It has worked. It's working in other countries.
But this, okay, now, because allegedly speaking, based on hearsays, based on some persons who might have come out in the open on social media or other media platforms to talk about their own experiences, or like either first hand or second hand, we've heard of things like loopholes to Jamb exams with regards to technological hacks, backdoors, side access to portals and all this. So if these things were not really rampant during the PPT era, obviously malpractice was also rampant there, but now we adopted technology to actually have a very tight security system with regards to the exam, and it's now even more problematic than before. Don't you think we should drop it?
You are talking about malpractice.
Yes.
Let me tell you, there is no system that will be 100%.
Certainly, but you can put modalities in place to create.
You cannot totally eradicate fraud, malpractice in Nigeria. It's not possible. You cannot totally do that. The only way you can do that, it has to still come from the top.
But it seems like every now and then it's increasing. It will
keep increasing because you are in Nigeria.
Then the credibility of the exam is no longer.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you why it will keep increasing. The man that is in charge, for instance, I tell people in education today, University of Benin and other universities, when you go to school now, it is no longer about what you really know. It's what you can offer. And I will not blame those people again. I will not blame them. Do you know why I will not blame them? A professor, do you know what it means to get a professorship? To become a professor in any field, it takes you years of reading, investment, resources, research, and stuff like that. And at the end of the day, you will pay a professor with everything, allowance, everything, nothing more than 500,000, 550,000.
After years of investment.
600 years. Then you will pay a Yahoo boy in the street that drives a car of what 20 million. A Yahoo boy that doesn't even know left from his right. He'll be driving such a car, and the society will respect that Yahoo boy over the professor. Why? Because the professor is poor. The reason why education will keep dwindling in this country, is because even those that are educated, there is no proof, no result. Your lecturer is very hungry.
So you are saying now that currently the education system does not really make the average person a job.
There is no encouragement at all.
It does not even make you one who creates opportunities. It just makes you one who seeks for a way to just put food in your table then. Because I think there was once upon a time in this country, although I didn't really live in that era, but we heard things. We even saw proofs where you go to school. Like when you go to school, you come back from the university. It was a thing of honor and pride because somehow, somewhere in the short run, your result works. First of all, your experience works, and not just because you don't even go to look for it. It comes to look for you. Like what changed? What happened? Because it is becoming alarming because the average person now will tell you school na scam.
Yes.
Education now na scam.
Listen.
Nobody wants to go to school again for the results or anything anymore.
See, it is very important you know this. School Education, school, actually, school, the four corners of school is actually a scam.
But trace on that subject matter.
Let me tell you something. In Nigeria, it's a scam. See, a man that takes, for instance, you will write Jamb, you finish your secondary school, you write Jamb. When you write Jamb, you write post-UME. When you write post-UME, you will now gain admission into university 100 level, 200 level, 300 level, 400 level, as the case may be, some 500 level, right? That's how many years?
That's let's say 4 years. Relatively speaking, 4, 5, 6,
7 years. Okay, 6 years.
4, 5, 6, 7 years. Yeah. Depends on your choice course.
Depends on your choice. Okay, let's say average 5 years, right? If that is all things being equal, because people write Jamb 5, 6 times.
Yeah.
So all things being equal, and you have the favor, God is just on your side. You do 5 years, you graduate. You do 1 year NYSC. That's 6 years. Then you come out. Then you will now meet the frustration of your life, where nobody wants to understand what the if you went to school. What they want to now know is, what can you offer? That's why I tell you, school is a scam for those that goes to school and do only school, thinking that when you come out, your result will become what you will use to feed your family and feed yourself. It's a scam, it's a lie, it's a deception. It doesn't work.
So you are saying the education system does not really, tailor students for the future then?
No. What does education do? Education stretch your mind. It helps your mind to think. You see those mathematics you solve. That's why in my secondary school I decided to do further mathematics. Even when it was difficult for me to pass, but me, I like challenge.
Okay.
So when we were 145 persons that were in science that was supposed to write WAEC and put further math, I can remember because it was an experience for me. At the end of it was only 14 of us that enrolled for that mathematics.
No, during my time, for that maths was very hard though.
It was a very difficult thing, but you know what? I decided to do it and I passed it. The thing that those things gives to you is to stretch your mind. Go, you see, give me the question, pass. Try to do it. It's in the trying you get your experience. Your experience. It's not the result that comes out. If you get, see, the man that got third class, the man that got second class, the man that got first class, if well attended to, they got the same experience. Did you not hear that Chinese man that said, if he would advise his child never to come out with first class, that should come out with third class, because at the end of the day, it is third class that employs the first class.
Yeah, I think it was a trend online where I think we had this collage or this mix of notable persons, influential persons who didn't really do well in their schooling era, but in the life era, they were the ones who actually made it big.
Listen, let me tell you something. What school does, I'm saying it anywhere, school brightens your mind, stretch your mind, helps you to solve problems. It is not the problem of that mathematics that you want to use in life that you solve though. It is the stretching, that effort you put, that you do. You know those night class that you went to, those times that you discipline yourself
extra
to want to read, those extra lessons, those times you are conditioning your mind. You are telling your mind that yes, I can solve problems. When I see problems, let me tell you, it is people that solve problems that make it. Everybody you see in life today that are making it, they solve one problem or the other. Dangote solve problem. It solves problem of cement. You build your house. It solves your problem. It makes it easy for you to build your house. Salt. It solves problem of salt in your food. It solves the problem. Now he has entered into a refinery. It's solving a problem. Solving problem of a petroleum.
Okay, now see, with this current dwindling nature of the economic structure, with regards to education and academics, how do you now expect the average Nigerian student to balance academic rigor with practical experience in the university? Because the university system right now, for lack of better words, it is not as it used to be before. We have so many things that have gone topsy-turvy, like it has turned upside down. Some is now either monetary based or personal interest based. Now, for those who still believe that yes, they can go through the system and the system should go through them, but the system alone has been flawed. How do they now struggle out the the experience of going through the academic pursuits and also gaining that practical, experience from the schooling environment. Because I, for one, I was about to also go to University of Benin, and unlike when I got to know about the university system from persons who have been there before, when I entered, I saw a different thing entirely. It was totally different. Yes, some things we still had after, like, the shadows of some things that used to be there before. But when I got there with hopes that, I have heard and I have seen those who have testified and it's in their life, let me go and get my own experience, it was entirely different. But the system came to me with all guns. There was no rose at all to even, like, console myself with. But due to the orientation I had, because I had somebody give me that orientation, I was able to just, channel my own experience out of the whole system, coupled with the fact that I had good persons who were moving with me to get my experience. But not everybody will have that liberty.
Yes.
So to those listening to us right now, some of them might not really have the liberty of having persons who will pull them through or give them that information or guide them. But they are experiencing this problem I'm talking about right now. So how do you feel they can channel and they can scale through and solve it?
See, when you find yourself in the first term, university is a different world of its own, and every parent should enlighten their children.
Foremost important.
First, before they go, it's a different world on its own, and it's a world on its own. That world can man you or can make you. See, I will advise me today based on experience. I will advise anybody that wants to go to school. If you go to school, focus on education, and not only education, not only your classes, focus on other things. Develop skills, do other things. You can't be reading 24 hours. You must be crazy to carry your book and be reading 24 hours, even read 6 hours a day. You are mad. You are crazy. I'm telling you, you are crazy, and definitely you will go crazy.
But the idea of giving enough time to a particular area
is a lie.
Doesn't make you excel. It's supposed to make you excel in that area.
No, you will suffer.
So you are saying education is exception.
You will suffer.
But the Nigerian education system is exception.
Jesus Christ! If you go to university, and you decide to do only school, trust me, you will suffer. I told people, if you take 1 hour and you read 1 hour every day, from the day you resume, your semester, if you don't come out with first class, it's because your destiny is not in first class.
So all things being equal, you are bound to come out in first class. If they follow that's your directive.
Once you enter the school, start taking materials, read from the, one of the problems you see, these are students, they happen. Let me tell you something. It's a deception. They are deceiving themselves. An average student thinks the only time he should be reading is when he sees the timetable and says exam is next month. That's when they want to read. It's a lie.
But many persons, their problems come out when they are under pressure. Like, I'm a living testimony.
Okay.
To a certain extent. I remember when I entered school newly, I had the tendency of attending my classes 6 nights over 7 every week. Excluding that, the over 7 is the day exception was it's always the night before the Sunday, because I have to go for church. Then at a point in time, I understand that basically I was actually killing my own self. You get, because I will go off to night class Sunday night, Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night.
That's foolishness.
I'm killing myself. I'm opening myself to things like malaria, danger, and all that.
Let me give you a funny story.
Then over, I think going forward towards my 300 level days, I started diversifying my attention towards other things. Yeah. Then I understood that basically, in as much as I would always have to pass my exam, I have to come up with a way that works for me.
Yes.
I go to my class. I would not copy my notes in class. I would just be there, because my course area was averagely a practical course, entrepreneurship. It's a practical course where basically our lecturers will always want to explain, give you insightful, talks, references, case studies, and all those kind of things. So I was always one who would listen and jot points, not copy notes. Then later on, I come take my notes and copy. So My own strategy was, so long I have listened in the class when it's been explained, even when they are giving the notes, I jot down the point because I will always want to ask questions, either by myself or I will instigate somebody to ask questions because I will not be that one who will always want to show myself in the class. Then weeks to exam, that pressure, the pressure of if you don't read now, you will fail, catalyzes that interest to read. And believe me, when I read there and then, it sticks. Unlike reading from the beginning, and I know that repetition actually has a way of actually helping you.
Okay, so
but it was my own strategy.
So let's now listen. If that is your strategy,
and it works for you,
is it not even better for you then to even do other things? Then when it's the exam time, you start reading and pass your exam and live the life. So why will a student now say that I don't see have the reason to do other things while you are in school? See, parents, I need to tell them something.
So you are saying the problem comes from the kind of orientation that they have?
Yes, now bad orientation. They think they told them, and so these things came from some of these parents we have that told them, as you are going to school, just focus on only your school. You see, don't look at your left, don't look at your back. If you look at your back, you will turn to salt, like Lot's wife. So just focus. It's only book. Remember, I know we are pant. Remember where they come from. Those kind of derogatory statements, those kind of very poor mindset that you are passing on to your children.
But it's not like, in a way, I don't feel that is bad though.
It's very less. Let me listen. You see, our parents, they love us.
Yes.
But you see, to succeed in life, and they are very emotional people. To succeed in life, as a man, you must know what you want and what works for you. Yeah. You will take the advice and sieve it and get the ones you need to that will work for you. If you take everything your parents says, because let me tell you, your parents, they wish you were. In fact, what they want at the end of the day is that you become successful. But most of them, they don't know how. What they just know is that I want this my son to be successful. So they are not emotional to just start telling you what they don't know how. So some of the dangers that these children they enter into now is that they follow a pattern that does not work.
They just take the word to the letter and just move with it.
Because at the end of the day, when they finish their education, they now take back their load and go back to their parents' house. It is not that time the parents will now know that it is wrong, but they have used your life to do experiment. They will not be asking you, what's next?
What's next?
They will not be asking you what's next. If you are not able to tell them, when you go come up for house, because listen, it's normal for me. In fact, they know me in my house when I was in school. I don't go home. In fact, it caused issues in my house. Why would I go home?
That express is mutual.
I can't go home because I'm a man with destiny. I can't go home to do what, to go and wash plate for you. Look at what happened. When you go home, listen to what I want to tell you now. For every student that is listening to me, take note of this, in the first 2 weeks, maximum 1 month. 1 month is too long for an African mother or father. 2 weeks, you will be honored.
They will glorify you.
They will honor you. They will glorify you.
In fact, they will tell you that,
my graduate son,
don't walk.
Don't do anything. Don't.
All your younger ones, they will
walk here. They will walk here. But when it is going to 1 week plus 2 weeks, they will not call you one money. It is money they will call you. And they will not tell you, John, how far we just notice that you are always at home this period. And you know, is there nothing you are doing? This is a father and a mother that told you focus on your education.
Let nothing distract you.
You know, don't do any other thing. Let nothing distract you. Just focus on your education. That's the same parents that is telling you now. We notice that you are not doing anything. Is there any problem? They will come very calmly, and maybe you will not explain to them that I am working on something. You think comes. They will wait maybe 1 week and they will come again. They will say, after that thing you said, it has not worked. So you will not say you are working on. At the end of the day, listen, look at the part. The next week, they have concluded they will not send their younger brother, go and call me Mr. John, go and call me John, brother John. Then they will now be sending you message. That's why you will now see brother John. As you just there, so just wash the plate now. Just sit there now.
Becoming one of them now.
You're not useless.
Because since you are allowed to the house, you will
not start doing work. You are eating the food there now.
Contribute your own quality.
But don't forget, it's the same parents that told you focus on only education. When they know that the education will come and there's no job anywhere. So parents should understand these things. You have to tell your children the truth. Let them know that go to school. Yes, school is good. It helps your mind. It gives you an advantage, but that is not all you need to succeed in life. Indeed. You have to focus on other things. You need to grow and learn skills. Learn other things. In fact, there are things that when I was even in school, I wanted to learn. It was because I've already done. As I can do everything. I can do it. You cannot tell me. I'm a project manager.
Amazing.
I went online to study project management. Why? Because I began to understand these things. Petroleum engineering. Have you ever seen vacancy in petroleum engineering in this country?
Yeah, how? Who will give you?
So it was in 200 level I understood where I was. So I quickly understood. I started doing other things, developing my mind. I tried to see. As I'm here, I can manage anything.
Diversifying interests.
I had to go online, study, get a course online, project management, study small, enter into project management.
Online courses. I think before we run up today, we will have to talk a little bit about that. But backtracking before we go forward, I want us to talk about possible traumas.
Yes.
That comes with the failure of the Jamb exam and all that.
Yeah.
Okay, like we've seen, just like the current one where we had a girl kill herself or commit suicide rather.
Yeah.
With regards to her seeing her results and all that. We've had persons who they've even run away from home because of the fear of what their guardians or parents will say. We've had cases of where children just give up hope on education entirely and just go to the streets and pick up vices and all that. These are things that we have seen happening over time. Is it that these children paying too much hope on the educational system, or is it that they have the lack of orientation with regards to the educational system, or is it that personally they just feel that without education nothing can work for them again? This is something I want us to talk about after we take this break. So what's up, guys? Like I said earlier, we are on our break period, but before we go back officially to the order of the day, still on the subject matter, the crime, or the Jamb saga. You get the Jamb issue. Like I said, many of us might have experienced a thing or two from it, either personally or someone we know. So let's join my colleague here. You all know her. So for those who don't know her, Madam, introduce yourself, Jerry.
I'm fortunate. I am the fortune teller.
So the reason fortunate is here exactly is for us to get a little bit of peek or view on her own personal experience, the Jamb experience, because she says she has had her own peculiar, unique struggle with the regards to the Jamb saga. So, the fortune teller, tell us, how was your own Jamb experience?
It was tough. If I say make I use good English, I no go fit express something.
Jamb you.
He jam me, tonton me, knock me for what, like
See, tell us, like, give us the full rundown. If you can, give us the full rundown. I believe say our viewers, they won't really know what it is. Tell us, we won't know what it is.
The thing be saying, I never really did for the category of all those people when system.
So your category now they different.
See, normally when me write my SS3, my result good there.
Scholar.
Yeah, if you see my result, you go know say I be scholar.
Sure.
B3 parallel.
I
dey tell you. But me write Jamb. The way Jamb say Jamb me, like I can't be like, you sure say that my WAEC result no be fake.
Okay, you really be for him.
Like the thing was,
wow.
About the Jamb.
So like how many times did you
2021.
Like did you write Jamb a couple of times? Or
Relax, make I gist you. That 2021, I can't write the Jamb. The Jamb can't jam me. I can't say, make I still try my luck.
Jamb 2.
Jamb 2.
Okay.
The thing be saying, normally, me I be no one be science student.
Oh.
So now all those papa stuff.
So you're among those.
So papa just say push us, say science. If you no be my surgeon, no be my doctor, my nurse.
So
like,
the
thing and me now I be person when be like I don't even they like me person injure. Instead when you go injure, make me carry the injury. So how come go the tear person body like the thing? I no fair. But I can't still do one. I put body. But me I believe say anything when I put hand do, it must get head.
Okay.
That be the thing. That be my own belief. So I write the SS3. I pass. Everybody know me as a scholar. I was a friend to all the teachers. I be friend to every teacher, both female, male. Yeah, I be friend to everybody because like see if they see my result, like they be like this girl like she good. But when I write Jamb, I get it be like saying 196.
Your first Jamb?
Uh-huh.
196.
196.
Did you write that jam while you were still in school or after you graduated from school?
After I graduated,
Jam really
I come out for school 2020. I write my first jam 2021.
You know jail.
You know join at all.
You write again.
I write again 2022. I can't get 167.
You did go back, you go down.
As I just say get that 167. Now I just tell myself that I know they go school again. See, that second jam, it made me give up. I say I know they go school again.
So you want to quit?
The thing is, see, my papa when the pressure say, nah, unibe or nothing. When I tell him say I know they go school again, he not talk anything. So as I just thought that I know they go again, I say me I know just sit down for us because I don't already fair waste 2 years. 2 years don't already go for nothing. The thing I write third jam. After that one, after I don't let work finish, I still fail that one. But this year, see, I dedicate my time.
Wait, you this one we say just get you say the issue now the
this one where they say now glitchy.
So this I want to ask you for where you say you write your jam. All these technical issues we talk about, it really happen for your center?
No, it not happen.
It not happen for your own center.
Because center when me take right, nah, be like say they know if you get reach 300 seats.
Okay.
Shebi they see why that kind of stuff no supposed to even happen for there, or is they supposed to be to get on. Yes, nah. Because you know to get crowd. So why you go? Why your things go?
It's they based on management. If you not see you physically get small, they make you no manage well. You know, sir.
And things they like that. But the thing is, see this year jam. See, normally they know say I be play game. I dey play well. Forget this me when go dey serious. See, this year jam, my time, everything. See, I'm not going to the feed way.
You just put body inside jam.
The way I take put body for this one.
Return the come say.
Like me and the fee say like this year jam. So
now you jam.
300. Like see. So now 300, 310, 320.
Return the come say Tabi. You come say.
It don't come out. My girl, jam still jam me.
How many?
I get 197. I'm never reach 200. See, not too loud because every your boss cry.
So welcome back, guys. We're still here live at the Mind Shift podcast, and we're talking about Nigeria and its educational system, the jam issue, all of it. Going from the jam section down to being in the university, till if possible after the university level. You get? So like I was asking our humble guest here, we've had issues where, or paraphrasing what I said earlier, we've had issues where basically children fail their jam exams, and some of them they won't go as far as committing suicide. Some run away from home. Some even give up on their academic dreams. You know, this trauma is becoming alarming. We have some even just shunning the idea of talking about education in general. So what do you think might have been the cause of this issue, and what solutions would you want to prefer to the subject matter?
Now there are two reasons for me that I feel that is the cause of those unnecessary trauma. I call it unnecessary.
Unnecessary?
Yes. One, first, peer pressure. That's your environment.
Okay.
Nigeria, it encompasses the community, the environment you find yourself, what is predominant there. Then also your parents, your guardian.
Because you've been, I think, thinking about it right now, you've been calling parents.
Yeah, no, they play a very large.
Amazingly, yes.
Yes, sir.
But sometimes we need to look at that. Some of all these parents, they're not really in this current generation like we
yes,
are.
But they don't want to agree. I am not taking away their wisdom. They have wisdom, like they have experience. They need to tell us their experience and let us learn from it. But they don't most times know the way. They don't know the way. All right. So those two things are some of the things rather that actually put a lot of pressure on these children. That makes them when they feel jam, they think their life is ended. Yeah, the life is gone. There's nothing left for them again. That's why somebody can take her life because she feels she failed jam.
So the pressure from home.
Yeah. So I want to advise their parents first. Charity begins at home. You will need to sit your children down and let them know what life actually is. Life life is beyond Jamb now. Life is beyond Jamb. Life is beyond education. You can't take, there's nothing that is worth your life. You can't take your life. You can't be depressed because you fail an exam.
Depression is real though.
See,
real.
depression is real, but it is avoidable. Let me tell you something. Do you think that you have gone through anything in this life that people have not gone through?
Obviously, nothing new existed.
Because so I want to ask you, so why do you want
everybody's
to...
experience is peculiar to their own particular nature.
Listen, there's no problem that is peculiar to anybody. It happened to me, it happened to you. Let me tell you, this my small life that I've lived, and I'm still living more, and I'm going to live very long. I have come to understand that there's no problem that is not surmountable. There's no problem that you cannot overcome. It happened does not mean it will not pass. It's a season. And a wise man always says, I will always tell you what a wise man says, because I love wise men.
A wise man will always say.
Yes. A wise man will always say that you don't use a permanent approach, make a permanent decisions for temporary issues. Do you know what that means? It means that some of these issues that you are going through, they are temporary. Why not make a permanent decision? That at the end of the day, when the problem is past, you are not the problem.
The effect of you trying to solve the problem now becomes a problem on its own.
The solution you thought the thing you thought you were trying to solve, the problem you're trying to solve, the solution is not the problem.
So you're back to it's not like you're back to square one. You're not creating.
It's not square one. You are going below.
Wow.
So the parents need to sit down. They need to sit down and talk to their children. Listen, you are great. I believe in you. Anything that comes out from this exam now, it is not because you are a failure. It is just because something did not work well. You can do it again. Then if writing Jamb is an issue, you go to other things. Like I said now in my case, I picked up a diploma from University of Benin. You do polytechnics, you pick up polytechnics. Listen, see, it is not what you studied again. That's it. If I had known, I would have just gone. You see that statement my father made, that anybody that don't want to do professional courses, I would have listened to those things. I would have just gone to study adult education. Or probably study one very light course, study adult education,
something that you feel will not just give you stress.
You understand? And just come out from the forward, because
it's not longer certificate.
It's not certificate again, it's certificate.
Amazing.
It is what you can do. You know what? See, they will just ask you, are you a graduate? You say yes. They will now ask, the next question they will ask you, what can you do? What can you offer?
What can you bring?
What can you bring to the table? It is value they are looking for. It's no longer stories. I came out with personal. Okay, what can you do?
Practical experience.
Yes, now.
Practical contribution.
Yes, now. What can you do? What can you do? See, I have met with a lot of persons. Even in my little business engagement, I have met with a lot of persons, and I've discovered even some of these graduates that comes out, they don't even know their left from their right. They don't know what to do.
Because the idea of after school whatness,
it overwhelms
a lot of
the only thing they can just offer to you is not, they don't know how to work done. Because see, I believe in work done.
Because I know of many persons who will just be like, hopefully when they post me to my primary place of assignment for NYSC, I will just try to do my best so that they can retain me.
You understand?
And if you have that mentality before going for youth service,
yeah.
And when you've been posted to your PPA, that's primary place of assignment, and you end up complaining about where you're working, maybe the stipend they give you there, for those who won't give you stipend, which attachments to your allowance that the government gives you, you start complaining about the distance from your location or from your home base to the place. Start complaining about the nature of the environment, the nature of the work, the nature of your employees, or your employer rather, and other things that come with it. Now you now understand that at the end of the day, the initial plan you had as life after school is already crumbling before you even finish the system.
You know, a lot of persons entered into life surprised. They felt like it's going to be bed of roses. They will just enter No, they will just, they told them you enter, you just study petroleum engineering. NNPC, you just go to MPDC subsidiary, or you go to NNPC, or you go to Total. You just go to one
You go
company,
to Shell, you just go.
So they will just pick you, and you
Because
just
you came out of
start.
first class and all
You,
those
just,
kind-
you know, you just start there working, and you know they will promote you, and you become maybe one day the MD. Let me tell you, go to if you even go to MPDC subsidiary, that one, you will see a lot of our bookings there. On Friday, go there, and you will see the level people that you are better than, that you think you are better than.
But
They are there.
with regards to this particular,
So it's not really the certificate thing.
some of them will even tell you you've come with the certificate, all your credentials are looking all glamorous and all that.
Yeah.
And you start hearing things like, we'll need someone with so level of experience, so years of experience. You just came out of school.
Okay.
You just finished. For kind of loud, you are barely just a year outside
Yeah.
school with regards to you just going finishing NYC. Where are you getting experience from, or are you working and schooling at the same time or something like that?
That is another deception again. You know, I wonder how people are still killing themselves over
2 years of
this thing.
experience, 5 years of experience. I don't understand.
They tell you 5 years of experience. So when you
As at 100 level, you're already working. You're already
are they saying you are working when you are 100
you're already
level?
having employment, 100 level. Or is it that the small IT you do during the school, your player is counts as experience?
That is one of the deception. That should tell you that there's no space for you, sir. There's no space for you. You just need to carve your own space for yourself. That's why the mindset I had when I was in school, I told myself, sir, I will never work for anybody. See, and if I will work for anybody, it will be at my own pace,
On your
at
own terms.
my own time. So it will be a means to an end.
Whoa.
Because I know what I can.
Stepping stone for
Yes,
something
yes, I know what I can offer. So I came out with that mind. Do you know that I even did both in this beginning? Because we don't want to give stories. See, both was better for me then than to go and be working 150,000 naira work and 100,000 naira work. Both was better for me because I know I used to make a lot of money in
100,000 naira
both.
work.
When I was
It
doing
wasn't enough
both.
for- it was not enough
I
for
think
you then.
from 6 years ago or so, 6 years ago.
100,000 naira for you then was not something then.
It's rubbish. Oh.
Truly, 100K not the last again. No.
I told myself that anybody that gives me, when I was in 200 level in school, I told myself I will not work any work. Anybody that will give me 50,000, I will not work. That's the value I place.
And that
for
was
myself.
years back when
Yes,
money had, I can compare to now, money had value then.
What are you saying? I gave myself that.
That's
This one
you had
I'm
time.
telling you now. I was still hungry.
Man know thyself indeed.
You know these things. I was still hungry. This one I'm telling you. It's not that I kept on money so
When
much.
I hear am now,
But I have to place value. I have to. You see, I have to place value on myself and tell myself, I know what I can do. Listen to me. I know what I can do. If I work for you, sir. If I work for you, I use my blood. In fact, if you are my friend and I work for you, I take you more serious. I take the work more serious than even when I work for somebody outside, because I already believe that the motive, the notion that these friends have, that is that if I give a fellow friend, if I give a friend a project to do, they tend to use over familiarity to spoil the job.
Yeah.
So that consciousness is already in me. So if a friend gives me a project, a friend has given me a project, I did the project there. The guy was surprised.
To go against the norm of
A renovation project. Yes. I did the project there. I was so professional. I was not look. It was a cosmate.
you just differentiate business and pleasure.
You know, I did a. In fact, see, today that's the pleasure. That's one of the things I'm enjoying today. And the guy wants to even give me. There was when we were in school. I was broke, but this one of my friend, he had this online business I was doing, and he told me, I want to give you a short story so people will learn.
When I listen now,
He told me, he said, can you work with me? Listen, this is my friend. In fact, when I came to University of Benin, he was the first person I met.
yeah.
The first person I ever spoke to in the four corners of that school, it was that guy. I don't want to call his name because I don't know if you were comfortable calling his name. It was the one I met. Later, I began to do well. And one thing I know, I believe if anybody around me is doing well, it means I will soon be sustained. That means I'm on the right track.
Don't be lying.
I don't need to pressure them, start begging for money and stuff. I don't do that.
It will go round.
So he one day called me, say, can you do this business? Can you do this? Let me tell you, let me shock you where a lot of people fail. A lot of people fail. In my account, in fact, the total transaction we did was over $20,000. I mean over $40,000. For each person, each transaction I do, I make 2,000 naira. 2,000 naira.
Each transaction.
2,000 naira I do. But I was seeing big money. It was enough for me to be greedy and tell the guy, I beg now. Or carry family problem, I'll give to him. Please help me now because I've seen money.
Just play on his emotions. And
yes, play on his emotions and because he's my friend. Papa, I just talk to the business. I thought of ways to increase my revenue. I started inviting a lot of persons
so that your own
can go up.
Your own output will increase.
Yes,
at least from 2009 to increase. And
so it not told me to look for other persons that can join this thing. Then from there I will be making so money from every person. Then I will be giving them money too. I recruited over 20 something persons. So a day I was not as a student then. A day I was not making 40 something thousand
from 2,000 naira.
From 2,000 naira.
Amazing.
I was not making 40 something thousand naira
daily.
I'm telling you, daily.
And this is one thing many persons don't understand. Daily income. It is amazing.
Listen, look at what happened. After I finished, I didn't know that the guy was taking note of this. We now finished the business. He called me. He said, Pascal, I have never seen somebody like this. When it comes to business in this my life now, I can bet my life that Pascal can do business. He said he was thinking that at a point I will start begging for money because I was really hungry then in school.
But you were target driven.
Because I know that I can make this. It's not a human being. He's making money. I can make the money now. I can make it now.
And you were not greedy because not unlike the fact that he was making a lot and you were making less.
I didn't touch his money for one day. You see, there's something that is helping me to do.
And you're not even accounting for all the money.
My God, the money enters my account. I'm the one that does the transfer.
So you can
enter my account and I cannot tell you.
You have the liberty of even manipulating figures.
Are you telling me?
The liberty of even shortchanging him.
I'm just telling you that something happened to the account. The money has gone. Okay, I'm owing you.
Integrity.
I'm owing you. That's what I would say. Wow. By now I would have finished the money that integrity. But do you know that he called me a month ago and he told me that can I manage sources of his property? Can I do this? Can I do this?
Because of that one peculiar.
He said for trust, he trusts me. These are things that a lot of youths are lacking. It's no certificate.
And this came through the university experience.
Yes.
Wow.
It came because first I understood my words. I understand that I cannot swindle somebody to make it. It will not last. The kind of freedom I want to express.
You had your own personal principle.
The kind of freedom I want to express in wealth is not something I will need to do scam. I will need to scam anybody. I will need to have integrity. I will need to allow people to trust me with their money. Right? Then I will make my money and I will be able to express myself and go anywhere I want to go and do anything I want to do. So these are very important qualities that are more important than the certificate. A lot of graduates you did their eyes are on people's money. You see money and you are. I know that I will make too much money in this life. So if I see 1 billion, I will call you my colleague, even though I have not made it now, but I know I will make it. I will just appreciate you and say, I've seen someone that it what it just does is it reaffirms that it is possible for me to make this. I can get it too. So these are things I'm talking about. So the youth of now, we need to understand these things. That I tell people before we round off. Let me just say this. I tell people there is job everywhere. There is nothing like there is no job. Key that mentality. Because first, nobody trusts what you can offer. You must first offer for them to trust your capacity.
It creates goodwill.
You understand? So why can't you just walk to somewhere and say, I can do this, don't pay me. For 6 months I can deliver this
challenging.
I can deliver this company. I can do this, I can do this, I can do
That's
this.
Where you
I have this capacity.
You work on their psyche and it gives you value.
Yes. And tell them don't pay me in the next 6 months. I don't want to. Is there anybody any company that you work to now? Let me tell you.
Everybody wants a business right now. If it's possible that they will even shortchange all their employees. If possible, they won't even pay. They will pay less and gain more. They will do it.
See, people pay for value. Let me tell you, people where you are now, you are seeking for 200,000 people. There are people that they are paying 10 million naira per month. A weekly basis, they pay them 10 million naira for consultancy.
Amazing.
I know of somebody that they were paying 1.5 million to consult. I know of somebody.
Value.
And when I heard it, I said it is value. I think it's the value that this person has placed upon himself. I just told myself, I need to increase my value. I need to start doing things and increase my value so that people can start seeing me like that. Is there any company you can work to now? You tell them that, Sama, I can offer this value to your company in the next 6 months. Don't pay me. Just try me. Is there any company that will
Don't
reject you?
reject.
So why are you saying you are looking for a job? It's because your eyes are too big. You are looking for instant gratification.
Nobody wants to think.
You don't want to think. You don't want to think out of the box.
The ordinary.
You will try something and let them like your job. They will pay you for it. After the 6 months you withdraw, when they see your tangible effect,
they'll come look for you.
They'll come. Then you will not put the paper
You not have a higher
on the
ground.
table, and you will not negotiate.
Exactly. You not have a higher.
So for me to do this now,
Exactly.
I don't want to be a staff. I want to be a consultant. For me to do this now, I need you will be paying me so. There's not room because you have offered value.
That's good. Before we draw the curtains for today, I think this is something I personally have been a beneficiary of.
Yeah.
And I believe many persons also out there have been a beneficiary of. And somewhere in between where we've been having this discussion, you highlighted it in multiple ways, although not outrightly. So I want to ask you vividly and in a very clear factor, the idea of inculcating vocational skills and things we call handwork into the education system, vocational skills and its likes. How well do you think that has been propagated in the educational system, and what do you feel is not being done right with regards to that ideology?
See, that point is very important. You see, one of the rehabilitation, one of the things to reinstate the standard of higher institution is bringing in these practicals. In university, it's called practicals.
Practical and tangible skills.
Tangible skills. I won't lie to you. I studied petroleum engineering. For once, they did not take us to any oil well. For once.
So no practical experience.
Practical experience of what we are learning is just still. That's why I got tired of it. I tell you, let me just pass this thing and leave this place, my friend. You'll be bringing things that does not relate, that you cannot even relate with. So you see, the importance of practicals in university cannot be overemphasized. In fact, at the time, I don't know how the police are now, polytechnics, but at the time people preferred going to polytechnics
because it's hard, because they did
practicals. Because they did practicals. See, practicals, and that was one thing my dad did for my brother, my immediate elder brother, that is a mechanical engineer. When he finishes normal theory in University of Ekpoma, right? What he does, my dad enrolls him in a practical workshop where they demystify engines. They bring down engines. So he had the knowledge of what he's doing practically and theoretically.
Away he was.
Whenever he comes home, he goes to the practical. He does the engine, he demystifies, he breaks down engines.
So he now had the liberty of seeing what he has.
Trust me, what he's using today to feed his family
is from the practical.
It's from the practical, not what he learned in school. Right. It was the practical. It's the practical. So the importance cannot be overemphasized. It is something Nigeria government must do if they want people to become, because what that will also help you do, it will help you to become self-employed. Yeah. You see this, because see, the truth of the matter is that the graduate you already have and the ones we have on ground now is even more than the ones that wants to graduate. Because
the system is now looking as if it's not looking as if it is now following the practice of making young adults job seekers.
Yeah.
Opportunity.
Yeah. Great job. Great job. There is no job anywhere.
And even with
except because, wait, I want to ask you a question. The job that you are seeking, that you are saying that you want to go and apply for, is it not somebody that created it? So if everybody is like you, would there be anything like job?
Insightful. Now, here I'm now.
So let's put, we need to be reasoning something. We need to sit down and be factual. If everybody is not like you that carries your CV and up and down, start trekking up and down, be looking for job. If everybody is like you, will anybody
create jobs?
Create job. The Dangote of today that you wants to work in his company, the Adenugas,
if he had gone looking for jobs,
if they started looking for job, would you have all these things that you having, that they are employing 5,000-10,000 people in their firms?
And lastly, just like I said before we round up, while we want these practicals and skill acquisition programs to be inculcated in the system, most likely it has become a trend now where we start hearing children going for ITs and all that. But some of all these IT programs, which is supposed to be the practical link to the theoretical courses that they've been studying and learning, some of them, they don't really hold weight.
They don't what?
They don't hold weight. You can hear of, okay, I've heard of scenarios or situations where basically a particular course area have IT programs where their children, or rather their students, will go on the supposed IT scheme, and what they are doing there does not really tally with their course of study.
Let me tell you something. Like what I tell people, I said my experience is enough to actually even scale anybody through life. This you are saying now, a practical example.
Amazing.
Do you know that I studied petroleum in my IT? Do you know where? Do you know where? Because there was nowhere to do my IT petroleum. It was through connection. You can go to this MPDC and do your. I don't have anybody there. Do you know where I did my IT? I did my IT in an electrical shop.
Petroleum engineering student.
Yes.
An electrical shop.
Do you know I loved it then? Do you know why? When I wanted to defend my IT, I made mockery of the professors and doctors that were there.
But how does it tally?
They know now. That's what I wanted to do. When I went there, when I presented it, I presented it there. I can't remember the topic now. And I said, this is what I did. They were all laughing. I was not laughing. Because me, I was so, everybody knows me. That's why I'm a very, I don't waste my time. I tell you the way it is. No matter who you are, I tell you the way it is. They were laughing. They said, is that what you do? I said, is there anywhere to do the IT? Did you provide any place for me to do the IT?
I think that the University of Benin, it's a federal government establishment. And one would have thought that putting the modalities in place, they will create systems where basically you can have access to all these places.
My dear, do you know the sweet part? There was one of my friends that had the connection to go to MPDC and he did his IT there. To tell you how ironic this life is. So when he came, he was proud that he went to MPDC to do
because he went to an actual place.
He doesn't know that he wants to kill himself. I want to just give you the funny part of it. So when we went there, you know they don't know. An average petroleum engineering lecturer, a professor, does not know anything about electrical. He doesn't know anything. Just if he wants to know, is the basic. Except the ones that are diversified, but the one that did petroleum, they don't know. So when he did his own, they wanted to kill him with questions. You know, that's their field.
It is their area.
They messed him up. We went there with high morale. When he came out, he was downcasted. But when I went there, when I was dropping my lines for them, they were laughing. They could not ask. They were just laughing at me.
Because it is not, first of all, it's not the area.
So they were not able to ask any question. They just said, "This man, carry your problem and go. Carry your problem and go."
But in a sense, he's not even supposed to hold weight.
He's not supposed to hold weight now.
Jesus Christ.
But they know the system. They know.
The system is flawed indeed.
They know the system that. Where did you take me to anywhere to go and do my? In fact, in the letter they gave to us, the letter for IT, they were the one that is supposed to
appoint you somewhere.
Yes.
Because it has been accredited and approved.
Yes. But they did not. They will just give you, go and find your IT place. So, but I tell people, those things are stepping stones to your greatness. Amazing. Eat them, their bread. Eat them. Don't run away.
Back and full body.
You see those maneuvering I did, those great solving problems. When I see problems, I solve it. If I tell you problems I saw in education, but I didn't run away from anyone because we were not taught to run away. We were taught to face it
problems
and come out victorious.
Exactly.
So if I tell you the thing, and those are the things I'm using in life. It's not those P211, P421, 4441. You know that I did. That is helping me now. It was those experience I got, those capacity to solve problems, so try to tackle those problems. That's what is helping me now, sir.
Amazing.
Trust me, by the grace of God now, if there's any problem we cannot solve now, Baba, give us problem, we'll solve it. We'll find a way to solve it.
Problem solvers.
Yes.
So you've heard it all, guys.
Thank you so much.
You've heard it all, Mr. Pascal, or Engineer Pascal.
Yes,
Thank you for being here. A comrade.
Yes.
A gargantuan,
yes.
dynamic human being.
Yes.
Thanks for having yourself here. Thanks for honoring us with your, with your presence.
Yeah.
We thank you for all you have said.
Thank you so much.
And my viewers, you guys have heard everything. He has said it. He will continue saying it. And we will continue saying it as it is, the way it's supposed to be, and the way it should be.
Yeah.
This is Mindshift Podcast. Thank you for joining us again. Until we come again next time, same location, same space. Remember to join us, and just remember to follow us on all our social media platforms. On Instagram, on YouTube, on TikTok, we are at Mindshift_podcast1, while on Facebook, we are at Mindshift_podcast. Remember that this is where it happens. Updates don't cast. Updates stay hidden, but not here at Mindshift. One love, guys. Thank you, and God bless.